we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to jump right in, but before we begin, I want us to take in mind our norms that we've established from the beginning of the year, and especially the part about prioritizing student achievement, because I think that that is really important as we talk about our action plan. So we're going to begin by talking about the mathematics portion. We discussed on Monday our needs assessment, and we took the needs assessment and we came up with, as we compiled it, a couple of areas where everyone felt as if they were at a foundational level. The category that represented multiple representations and justifying with logical reasoning. So what we want to do for next year so that everyone is on the same page as far as our action plan is concerned is make sure that you guys are involved in creating that action plan, so it's something that we can all follow through with. And each part we wanted to make it bite-sized so that everyone can fully commit to that part of the action plan. So for the math part, that's what we're going to work on today. The other two big portions are going to focus around IB and science. So at the end of the day, the action plan is to ensure student success. And we're going to decide what we can commit to as a campus to ensure that student success. Okay, so how do we address this? Based on the survey, the needs survey, we said we were going to improve student problem-solving skills through increased use and understanding of multiple representations and logical justifications for solutions. So real quick, I'm going to ask you to form groups, and we're going to talk about what are multiple representations and how do we justify solutions. So I'm going to give
specific representations, like basically different ways of doing it, right? So I know specific representations can be
No, it's different ways to find a solution.
So that would be
Different
like
ways of
using
yeah.
that.
So like with a, well, I'm thinking in first grade. So we show it in a
like adding,
Some kids add with their fingers.
maybe making
Some others are
making their own
with a big number in their head.
So oral story.
so this needs to be labeled multiple
Oral
representations.
just like that one.
Different ways to solve a problem.
Having them understand as
So
far
real
as
world
calories.
representations.
So we want to do calories.
So now we need to do now we need to think of the
Just a quick picture.
Okay, so this is what we're saying, manipulatives, oral mental stories.
So this is
and real world
hundreds.
experience.
Teacher given and then your own.
Okay, so this is what I need to write into the page.
This is the rough draft. Whole numbers.
Different ways to model.
We're always talking about.
Oh, it's an I instead
So
of
yeah, it's moving from the manipulatives and using the actual little cubes and stuff to drawing pictures like this to eventually just doing the problem.
Okay. And equations, we could use the same thing for equations, right? So they could represent the different.
Charts that we've created and look for some commonalities. Is there anyone who would like to share something that they see in common in all of these charts?
Manipulatives?
Manipulatives, okay. And that was something that on the needs assessment, K2 did say that they used pretty often in their classrooms, and 3-5 said that they were kind of at that intermediate level. Any other ones?
The real world situations.
Real world situations, okay. We're still looking at multiple representations. Any other ones?
Drawing pictures and diagrams.
Drawing pictures and diagrams. Any ones that stand out that are on one chart that you guys might not have written down on your own chart that you see?
Is that giving and creating those stories? Is that like
Word problems, like word problems.
Okay.
Without having doing them both ways would help.
In preschool, we start with oral. And so like the teacher will tell a story, model it, and then after so many turns that a student might do one, it's just like 3 lions went to the zoo, 1 lion came out, how many lions are left?
right?
Kind of thing.
I think that we could also add to justifying solutions, the concepts.
Okay.
Because when they get to that point where they have to explain it, they have to use these concepts, and if they don't use them properly, sometimes they don't know how to answer a question because they don't understand the concepts. So when they're explaining a solution using concepts, they get used to it, and then when they read a word problem, they'll understand it better.
Okay. So now looking, Mr. Cordero brought us into the justifying solutions, and he talked about concepts. Are there any other justifying solutions that you see that we have in common?
I think they're actually all in common, because like on the one with all the pictures, that's a pictorial representation or an artifact, and they're also analyzing the data from the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So then if you jump over there, you can tell that they're an upper grade based on the stuff that's up there, using verification of answers and showing understanding.
Okay. So I noticed on this one we have a lot of the actual pictures that students can draw when they answer a question or when they want to prove their answer. Does anyone know, or can anyone think of some of the TEKs that have started kind of a new type of representation when we show our work for answering math problems? Any of the new ones that have come out maybe on the STAR test, or that we've seen in the TEKs when we look at the breakdown of standards?
Well, they've kind of changed the UPS. It's now more like solve, plan, learn, or something.
Okay.
No, C Plan Do was before UPS, but they've changed the UPS is no longer in the first grade. I don't know as it moves up. It's the same concept, but it's just a different chart.
Okay.
Well, a lot of the TEKs do say they need to be able to show something or understand something in multiple representations, such as area models or
Okay.
diagrams or pictures.
So that's one that you brought up, area models. How many of you have used area models for addition and subtraction? Okay, and how about strip diagrams? We talked about those a little bit. Okay, and how about using open number lines?
Oh, well, number lines. You mean where they have the missing numbers?
Not necessarily, like an open number line that they would use to solve perhaps an addition problem.
Oh, yeah, because we have their, and then their number charts.
Okay, and the number
Those
charts as
different
well.
things that we give them, that we laminate, that they use while they're solving.
Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna give you a copy of our action plan from last year. So this is the action plan that we implemented this year. So I want you to take a look at it, talk to your group about it, and really look specifically at the actions. The first set is the leader actions, meaning anyone on the administrative team, that is what we are charged to do in order to make sure we carry out our actions. And then there's a group of staff actions. So based on whatever the leader actions are, then this part says what the staff would be expected to do. So I want you to look at this, and for next year we want to make sure that we're all making this together. So if we're saying that the staff is expected to do something, you know about it and you are committed to that. So I want you to take a look at this one, and then we're going to talk about how we can make the one for this year. Okay? So go ahead and talk to your group and discuss what you see on that part.
Provide, and then for staff, it's utilize and do. Provide and give from leadership, do from staff.
Okay. So all of the steps have to be actionable, something that actually we can see being done. So for this year, if you turn it around, you can see that we have already written a general action for this next one. And then we have 4 indicators of success. How do we tell if the actions that we're taking are actually working? So those indicators of success are how we tell if we are being successful in our actions. So what we're going to do right now is think about where those gaps lie. So based on the charts that we wrote down and based on our discussions around strip diagrams, open number lines, area models, and the things we feel most comfortable with and the things we feel we still need support on in order to get our students to the place where we need them for being able to utilize those multiple representations, and then also justifying the solution. So we have up here that part about reasonableness. When students are justifying solutions, are they not only able to prove their work, but even before they prove their work, are they able to tell if it's a reasonable answer? So thinking about those things, where do we as a staff feel that we're confident? Where do we feel that we still have questions? And what kind of actions do you think you are willing to take us to the next level? So the next chart I'm going to have you guys work on, and this is the one we're going to work from, is going to look like this. So where do you feel confident with all of this? Where do you still have questions? And using those questions, what do you think we can do next year as an action item in order to address those gaps that we see? Okay? The questions are up here if you have questions about it. So what do we feel confident regarding multiple representations and justifying logical solutions? What questions or wonderings do we still have about them? And then what ideas do we have for actions that we can take in order to take us to that level that we need for all of our students to be successful? The direction of our training going as far as multiple representations and justifying solutions would be. Where do you still feel like there's a gap? So based on all this information that we've compiled, we're going to sit as a campus leadership team and look and see where our questions and wonderings are and where your ideas were as far as the action steps we can take, so that we can come up with a set of actions that we can all decide as a campus that we can agree upon. Before you leave today, I have one last thing from you. Based on our brainstorming today, I would like you to take a sticky note and just write down where you see us planning for the next two, which is going to be focused around science and IB. What else do you think we could do within this group to improve the planning steps for the action plan for the next 2 meetings? Okay, so any ideas that you have, go ahead and write them down on your sticky note and leave them right up here on this poster.